In recent years, the phrase, "you will own nothing and you will be happy," has become a rallying cry for critics of the growing trends in technology, economics, and governance. Coined by the World Economic Forum in a 2016 video envisioning life in 2030, the statement has since been interpreted as both a utopian promise and a dystopian warning. However, as we move closer to that future, a more accurate rephrasing might be, "you will own nothing and you will not like it." This shift reflects the emergence of what some scholars and critics are calling techno-feudalism, a system where power and wealth are concentrated in the hands of a few tech oligarchs, while the majority are reduced to digital serfs, dependent on platforms and algorithms for their livelihoods and survival. Techno-feudalism is not a formal economic system, but rather a metaphor for the growing asymmetry of power in the digital age. In this new order, traditional capitalism is being supplanted by a system where a handful of tech giants, companies like Amazon, Google, Facebook, Meta, and Apple, act as the new feudal lords. These corporations control the digital infrastructure, data, and platforms that underpin modern life. Just as feudal lords controlled the land and resources in medieval times, tech oligarchs control the digital land and the flow of information, goods, and services. The parallels are striking. In feudalism, peasants worked the land owned by lords and paid rent or taxes in exchange for protection and the right to live on the land. In techno-feudalism, individuals and businesses rely on digital platforms to survive, paying rent in the form of data, fees, and algorithmic subservience. For example, Amazon controls e-commerce, cloud computing, and logistics, extracting fees from sellers and controlling access to consumers. Google and Facebook dominate online advertising, monetizing user data and dictating the flow of information. Uber and Airbnb act as intermediaries, taking a cut from workers and users while avoiding the responsibilities of traditional employers or landlords. In this system, ownership is increasingly concentrated in the hands of these platforms. Individuals no longer own their data, their creative works, or even the means of production. Instead, they are reduced to renters, dependent on the goodwill of their digital overlords. The erosion of ownership is a central feature of techno-feudalism. In the past, ownership of property, whether physical like land, homes, tools, or intellectual like books, music, art, was a cornerstone of economic independence and personal freedom. However, in the digital age, ownership is being replaced by access. Streaming services like Spotify and Netflix have replaced physical media, while cloud computing has replaced local storage. Even physical goods are increasingly leased rather than owned, as seen in the rise of subscription models for everything from cars to clothing. This shift is often framed as a convenience. Why own when you can access? But it comes at a cost. Without ownership, individuals lose control over their lives. They are subject to the whims of platform algorithms, which can deplatform them, demonetize them, or restrict their access. They are also vulnerable to price hikes, service changes, and corporate decisions that prioritize profit over people. In techno-feudalism, the majority of people are reduced to digital serfs. They work for platforms as gig workers, content creators, or small business owners, but they have little power or autonomy. Gig workers for companies like Uber and DoorDash are classified as independent contractors, denying them benefits like healthcare, paid leave, and job security. Content creators on platforms like YouTube and TikTok are at the mercy of algorithms that dictate their visibility and income. Small businesses that rely on Amazon or Etsy must compete in a marketplace controlled by a single entity, which can change the rules at any time. This digital serfdom is exacerbated by the surveillance economy, where every click, like, and purchase is tracked and monetized. Individuals are not only workers, but also products, their data harvested and sold to advertisers. This creates a system of perpetual dependency, where individuals are both exploited and commodified. While the rise of techno-feudalism may seem inevitable, it is not without resistance. Critics and activists are calling for reforms to reclaim ownership, autonomy, and dignity in the digital age. Some of the proposed solutions include data ownership laws that give individuals control over their data, allowing them to decide how it is used and monetized, platform cooperatives, worker-owned platforms that distribute profits and decision-making more equitably, antitrust action, breaking up tech monopolies to promote competition and reduce their power over markets and individuals. Universal Basic Income, or UBI, providing a safety net for those displaced by automation and the gig economy. Digital rights, expanding legal protections for online workers, creators, and users. A techno-feudalism represents a profound shift in the structure of power and ownership in the 21st century. It is a system where the promise of technological progress has been co-opted by a handful of corporations, creating a new class of digital serfs who own nothing and control even less. While the phrase "you will own nothing and you will be happy" may have been intended as a vision of a post-scarcity utopia, the reality is far darker. In the age of techno-feudalism, the more accurate prediction is, you will own nothing, and you will not like it. The challenge for society is to resist this trajectory and build a future where technology serves the many, not the few. This will require bold ideas, collective action, and a reimagining of what ownership and freedom mean in the digital age. The alternative is a world where the feudal lords of Silicon Valley reign supreme, and the rest of us are left to toil in their digital fiefdoms. Please help a small channel by liking and subscribing.